Hello, my name is David Garvey and I'm with Illinois WorkNet. In this recording, we're going to go over some of the tools and resources that are available for workforce partners that can be used to help students meet their career goals with guides, customer groups, and virtual job fairs. We'll begin by going over the Prepare to Find a Job guide, which is what we have on the screen here. And to reach this, if you go to illinoisworknet.com and you open the menu, and you click on the Qualify for Jobs drop down and select Prepare to Find a Job, that will take you to this page here. You can also reach it by entering the URL illinoisworknet.com/prep, and that will take you to this guide as well. So we'll begin by going over just what's included in finding the job guide and how to navigate it. So our guides are set up the same way, like we see on the screen here, with an image on the left, and on the right, we have text describing the resource for that slide. And so the first slide, if we press this Get Started button, it'll advance to the next slide. You can also use the navigation arrows over here to move throughout the slide. And in between them, we have a menu, and you can click to open that and select an option from the drop down and get sent to that part of the guide. And clicking on the Learn More buttons, that will open a new tab with that resource that is available. But using the Prepare to Find a Job guide, you can find job openings ranging from entry level to technical, professional, across all types of industries and career fields. And if your plan is to be self-employed, you can learn how to get started with your business plan and connect to online courses and business startup services. So we'll go to slide 2, and this is the Getting a Job Using the Illinois WorkNet course. And this is a course that is free to use, and it walks you through the process of using several different tools within Illinois WorkNet, including the resume builder, taking assessments, and sending and saving and sharing and updating resumes, cover letters, and it walks users through the process of using several different job searches and program searches and more. And it takes about a little under an hour to complete. The next slide we have here is Organize Your Information. And this discusses your work history and experience and entering that into the resume builder when you're working on it. So when we press this Learn More button, that'll take us to this article here that walks you through the process of preparing your resume. So we begin by gathering the information, the education history, the work history, skills that you have, awards and honors, certifications and license, and associations and membership. So once you gather your information, you then organize it. And you can also pick your resume type. And we break down the different types of resumes here. But this is a really good article for job seekers who are maybe preparing their resume for the first time, or if they haven't updated it in a while. This is a good starting point to gather that information. And it also talks about the resume builder. If we go to the Start Building, this will prompt us, this will redirect the user to the resume builder where they can enter this information and save and update their resumes, cover letters, and so forth. And to access the resume builder, it is free to use with an Illinois WorkNet account. So once someone creates an Illinois WorkNet account and signs in, when they do access the resume builder, they'll be redirected to that site where they can save and add their information. The next slide here is Review Employability Skills. And this directs you to the Job Skills Guide, which goes through the essential employability skills that all employers are, they're beneficial to have for, in all fields of work. So we have, just sliding through the slides here, mathematics, reading, writing, science and technology, computer literacy, tech skills, attendance and self-presentation, career advancement, communications, independence and initiative, leadership and teamwork, having a positive attitude, problem solving, understanding the big picture, work ethic. And then this last slide here is more resources regarding job skills. But each of these directs to an article that just talks more about how you can practice acquiring some of these skills and honing and improving them, and why they're important to have. So this is also a really good guide to consider when putting together your resume to see what skills you have and what skills you need to work on, where are your strengths and weaknesses. The next slide we have in the Prepare to Find a Job guide is the digital literacy skills. And so when we press that Learn More button, this will take us to the digital literacy guides within Illinois WorkNet. And again, we'll just slide through these. So we have, why does online security matter? Why knowing your computer mobile device matters? Why software and apps matter? Why online skills in general matter? And why networking and cloud technologies matter. And again, one slide with additional resources, videos, and more here. But you can see that this covers a wide range of items within the guide, including a starting point with just why online security matters. And these items in here are articles, just like the resume one we were looking at earlier. The next article or next item we have in the Prepare to Find a Job guide is list your job skills. And so when we open this, we can see that it directs us to a article within Illinois WorkNet. And this goes over the self-assessment tool within the Illinois WorkNet resume builder that allows you to just kind of test and evaluate yourself. You can choose the assessment type and name it, but when you complete the assessment, it'll give you a skills inventory with a checklist of various skills, and it's shown in a couple tables, one for skills and one for abilities. And so you can do a comparison of the skills that you have, the skills that you need to work on, and so forth. And you can also share these assessments, via LinkedIn, social media, with, if they're working with a workforce partner, the customer, they can share that with them as well. We also have an article, or sorry, this Prepare Your Resume. This will actually take you to the resume writing guide. And this is similarly broken out into a series of articles that covers the range of putting together a resume. So we have articles on getting prepared to write your resume, to the process of writing the resume, customizing it, preparing for an interview. We also have an article on the resume builder tools, which includes, as we mentioned, resumes, cover letters. You can add portfolios, you can take assessments, and you can also practice your interview. And we have within that tool, there is the ability where you can record yourself and you can select questions and you can record your answer and see how you can improve. And just to see, your body posture, your tone of voice, and you can play all that back so that you can practice as much as you need for your interview. And then we also have a couple slides within the resume writing guide, additional resources and videos and social media resources as well. And lastly, the slide we have here in the Prepare to Find a Job guide is, as we saw in some of the other guides, just more resources for preparing to find a job. So we have more articles and videos within Illinois WorkNet that discuss preparing to find a job. The next resource that we're going to cover is the career tools, the self-guided career tools that are a part of Employment 101. So to reach Employment 101, there's a couple different ways. We can learn more about it by going to the menu here, selecting Explore Careers, and opening up the article we have in the menu for Employment 101. Now, Employment 101 is a self-guided approach that includes assessments, articles, planners, and resources to help a customer reach their training and employment goals. And it integrates resources and tools and searches that exist within workNet into Employment 101. And so it begins by taking a pre-assessment that checks the customer's current knowledge. It's not required, but it does check that. And then, as they're navigating through the approach, and we'll take a quick look at some of the tools that are included here in a second, they can, begin to put together a career plan, a job search plan, and, monitor and track and update their progress in the job search. And then once the tool is completed, there's also a post-assessment to check what the customer has learned, and they can earn a certificate with a passing score. And then that certificate of completion can then be added to their resume and portfolios. And so to reach the Employment 101 tool, and we have several different resources and informations and videos on how to go through Employment 101 and navigate its resources. But we will take a quick look at how to access the tool itself. So again, with an Illinois WorkNet account, when you log into your WorkNet account, in this banner going across the page here, if we open My Dashboard and select Employment 101, this will take us to the Employment 101 tool. And so we can see here the steps, the pre-assessment, the guide itself that includes those resources that's integrated into the tool, and then the post-assessment. And we can see in this case with 80%, I believe the passing score is 70%. Once you pass this, you can then download the certificate here. And we have a video providing an overview of the tool itself too. But we're going to take a look at the career tools. So if we press this button up here, career tools, this will take us to a page where we can see this area here that provides all this information. So with the career tools we can see Employment 101, which you can use to create a career plan, job search plan, and learn how to achieve success on the job. Assessments, these assessments, that we talked about earlier, they can evaluate where customers are with their skills and experiences and what they may need to work on. The career plan is the tool to track steps and goals that they create to help achieve success in their chosen career field. So this includes, we can open this up here. And so in this career plan here, we can add goal statements for our career plan and track and update it. So we can add a goal statement. We can see the ones that have been added below: to get a job or work experience, get training to enhance your skills, and so forth. And so when we open this, we can see show next steps. And we can, there's sub items within this goal that we can, monitor and track. So with building your portfolio, we can see that this was added and completed back in April. But we can see there's more work to be done with some of these other items in here, and the status over here that it's been planned but hasn't actually started. It's been scheduled. And so you can update these items by just pressing update and then updating the status, the dates, how many hours a week they're planning on working on this, the plan completion date, and additional notes as well. And so with an Illinois WorkNet account, in putting together the career plan, you can keep track of all of this information here. So going back to the plans and tools over here, we have notes. This is a tool that can be used to keep track of things that you need to do related to your career plan and job search. A really cool feature we have is the compare careers. You can use this tool to compare the career choices that you've selected, so we can bookmark and add careers by using some of these tools, by clicking these buttons and navigating through and selecting them. And we can just take a look. We can rank them and just get that information at a glance, such as wages, employment, 10-year growth, annual openings, and so forth. So you can rank and just kind of at a glance compare the careers that a customer is interested in. And the same thing goes for training. You can use this to for the WIOA approved training program search and the search we have for public and private training providers. You can rank these as well and have them saved in one place here. The job search organizer is another tool that you can add to just keep track of all the jobs that the customer is applying to. You can bookmark what the search we have. The job finder pulls through Indeed job postings, but you can also manually add a job to this list. But you can just enter the job openings that you're interested in. When it becomes time to the application process, you can just drag and drop the item over here. And then when an interview is scheduled, you can move that over here as well. If follow-up is needed after the interview, you can drag that here. We also have an archive section here. So it's a really cool feature that allows you to track the status and progress of the different job openings that customers are applying to and following up and working on. And then the resume builder, we have a tool that redirects to the resume builder that we've discussed here. And I know this is only a very short overview of what all is included in here, so I do highly recommend watching that overview video for Employment 101, so you can really get a sense of what all is included in here. There's a lot that can be utilized for customers as they're navigating their career, as they're trying to reach their training and career goals. The next resource we're going to go over is using groups within the Customer Support Center to be in touch with the customers as they're, let's say, navigating through their career plans and so forth. So with a partner account, and let me actually go over to the partner site. So when you're on Illinois WorkNet, if you click this partners icon up here, this will take you to the landing page for workforce and education partners. And we have announcements, tools and guides, global partner tools here and different program guides, along with Illinois initiatives and a lot of information for the workforce partners. So if you do use Illinois WorkNet and you're not familiar with this partner site, I would strongly recommend taking a look to see what all is included. And to become a partner, we also have in the menu here, becoming a partner, which just walks through the process of how you can acquire a partner account and submit that information with Illinois WorkNet. So it just walks you through those steps here. But when you do have access to the customer support, when you have a partner account, you'll have access to the Customer Support Center / Illinois Workforce Integration System. And when you log into your account, you'll select My Dashboard and then this icon here, Customer Support Center / IWIS. And that'll take you to the Customer Support Center here, where you can navigate through groups that you create. And if you create a personal group, you can, just by pressing this Add Group button, once you create a group, you can add customers to it, customers you're working with directly, whether it's a resume writing workshop or you're practicing interviews and so forth. When you can invite them to join the group, and when they have joined, you'll be able to find their account within your group, and you can see if when they're logged in with WorkNet and they take some of the skills and interest surveys we mentioned, or Employment 101, using that tool, or updating resumes and cover letters in Optimal, you can select their name and view their work. So for instance, we can see view interests here. That'll take us to the previous interests that I have completed in a assessment here. For Employment 101, we can see their pre-assessment and post-assessment score, the date it was taken, and so forth, and their progress using Employment 101. We can also download the certificate of completion on behalf of them. And there's other tabs here too with other assessments that we have here. And then the same goes for Optimal Resume. When resumes and cover letters and so forth are created, there will be the ability for you to view and provide feedback on those documents. Again, they do have to have a workNet account, and they have to join your personal group. So you have to invite them and then have them join, and then you'll be able to see these assessments and documents that are created in Optimal Resume. The last item that we're going to go over is the virtual job fair tool on Illinois WorkNet. So to reach the virtual job fair tool, we're going to go to the Illinois WorkNet homepage. And at the top here, under the image, here we have virtual job fair. And if we press this search virtual job fairs button, this will take us to the virtual job fair landing page. And so we have a couple options here. If I were an employer who wanted to hire or create a listing in the virtual job fair for my company, I could press this set up virtual job fairs and submit a booth that way. If I press search, it'll take me down the page. But we do have some notes here for job seekers and employers. But we have a couple articles on what job seekers can do to prepare for a virtual job fair and what to expect when attending. And so these are the articles that we've seen before. And we have just some information if someone is not familiar with attending a virtual event online. This just goes through what they can expect and how to prepare for it. So we have registering for the virtual job fair, researching the companies to make sure if they have any questions that they have an opportunity to ask the employers on the call, to make sure that they test their equipment, to make sure that everything is working and that they have the ability to reach out and ask those questions, to also dress appropriately for the event, and just in case to have their resume and elevator pitch ready. And we do also mention the Illinois WorkNet Service Finder, which is essentially a directory of organizations throughout the state that provide assistance with job seekers to find jobs, prepare for their career, and other work support, such as we have listed here: financial aid, childcare, and much more. And then the other article goes over the attending and what to do, what to expect, pay attention, take notes, be professional, stay positive, finish your notes, follow up with the employers, and make that contact and keep track of their jobs, keep track of their progress and the employers that they've reached out to, and potential job leads and next steps. And so we have that article here with additional resources. But the virtual job fair here, if we scroll down, this first page here is the virtual booths, this first tab. And we can search through the employer listings by keyword. We can select by industry. And we can also check for address or location name. We can enter in our address to see who's nearby. We also have a checkbox here to see which companies offer remote working positions. But to provide an example of what a employer page looks like, if you select it here, we can see the logo, the name, and the number of open positions. And that'll take us to the booth listing for that company. And so at the top here, we have our social media links for the company, their website, their location, their address information, a link to their website with more career information, even the job openings themselves, which industries they're hiring in. a description of that employer, the employer contact that they can follow up with. If there's any upcoming virtual job fairs, they can be listed here. But we also have a section down here for previously recorded virtual job fairs and additional documents and links that the employer wished to share with those who come to their employer booth listing. And so going back to the list here, we also have a calendar. If we select this, this is the Illinois WorkNet event calendar, but it's filtered specifically to hiring events. And so you can select the event and learn more about the event itself, such as when it is and how to register for the event. And this is a really good opportunity for these job fair events, as it provides the job seekers time to learn about the companies, their mission and culture, expectations and job candidates, what skills they'll need, and how to apply for those job openings. And they can communicate with the representatives who are hiring within each virtual job fair event that we facilitate. We do allow a Q&A portion. And all this is at no cost for job seekers to attend, employers to participate, in creating a booth and wanting assistance with an event. All of that, no cost whatsoever. And so if you know employers who are hiring, encourage them to create a booth on Illinois WorkNet if they haven't already. And the process to complete it can be completed within minutes. And we can see this add your employer booth button here. For example, we have this page here, which just provides the steps along with short videos for employers on the process of submitting a booth listing with the virtual job fair tool. So we just have an overview of the tool itself. Getting started, they will need to create an account. Once the account's been created, then they submit their employer booth information. And then we also have a few more videos on how they can manage and make sure the information is up to date with their employer booth. And we also mention and go over the articles, because if the employers are unfamiliar with a virtual event, we have some information in a short video on what they can expect with the preparation and the event itself. And lastly, we have a video on post-event and follow-up. And if we scroll back to the top here, we'll see this add booth button. We do have instructions here, PDF instructions, but the add booth button, this just shows the information that they're required to enter. All basic information, the employer name, website, number of positions, a date range for when they want to display their booth, a logo, a description. The FEIN is optional, but that is included there if they'd like to add that. A address of the employer, the ability to select industries that they're hiring in, along with job titles that they can also add. Contact information that job seekers can reach out to, and then links for social media. And then they just click save and submit, and within a few business days, it'll be approved and they'll be notified that they can then submit that, or they can then edit and manage their information with their booth. And the webinars that the virtual job fair events that we hold, we do record them and we add them to our YouTube channel so that they are there and can be viewed after the fact. And if you're interested in holding a virtual job fair in your area, we're going to go over to the partners guide. So we're going to click this tab here. And if we scroll down to Global Partner Tools and then select Virtual Job Fair, VJF, this will take us to the partner page for the guide here for Virtual Job Fair. And this contains articles, past and upcoming training session, guidance and instructions, social media templates, flyers, and much more, and how you can get started on planning and holding your own virtual job fair, whether it's for one or multiple employers. We have guidance for you every step of the way. And so we'll get to planning the virtual job fair event in a second, but I do just want to point out that the homepage on this partner guide here. So we have a few different tabs here. We're going to go ahead and open these. We have partner guidance. This takes us to the articles that we have on the virtual job fair, some of which we saw earlier. The partner training materials and videos. This covers our monthly virtual job fair training sessions that we held. You can access past recordings in the playlist here, and you can see what items were covered during that call. The full list of resources, this includes a lot here. We're not going to go over everything here, but just a quick overview. We have guidance for virtual job fair. So for job seekers or employers, we do have flyers, we have articles, we have overviews in the forms of PowerPoint and videos that you can send to job seekers and employers if they're interested in utilizing the tool. We also have a PowerPoint for other workforce partners, this adult educators PowerPoint here. We also have instructions and quick start guides. And under planning, we have different checklists and tracking sheets that you can use that we put together, these templates, so that you can track and monitor the progress of planning your event. We also have a list of questions for Q&A when we do have the Q&A session. In the event that few or no questions are asked, we do pull from a list that we've included here. That way we can keep the conversation going and make the most use of the time for attendees. And under this outreach section here, we have different flyers you can customize along with social media samples and templates that you can use to get the word out and promote the event. And down below, we have weekly reporting numbers that just track the growth of the virtual job fair tool on a week-to-week basis since it launched. And then lastly, there's a partner tool updates page. This just goes over what updates were made and when to the virtual job fair tool. And at the moment, we don't have any upcoming events, but we will be adding this. We'll be adding more in here for upcoming partner webinars for virtual job fair. But we will have a table that includes how to register and join that call. And the view recordings and materials of past training sessions, if we click that, that's just going to take us back to this page here with the past training sessions that we've held on the tool. But to actually plan your event, if you select this, either the image or plan your virtual job fair event here, this will take us to the VJF planning page. So we have a quick start guide, and then we can see single employer event, multi-employer event, and legislative events as well. So we're just going to start with the planning quick start guide here. And this offers, again, step-by-step, similar to that other page for employers, a step-by-step guide for things to consider and ask and just to plan your event along with short videos. So we have an introduction of the tool. For events, we typically say, it's best to plan ahead 4 to 6 weeks out with your team to hold a virtual job fair event. That way you have enough time to plan, prepare, coordinate, promote, and iron out all the details that come with putting on an event. And so we have some questions here to consider, if you're interested in putting on an event, when do you want to hold it? Will it be a region or industry-based event? What is the format of the event? Is it a single session or multiple sessions? What local resources and services do you want to share with job seekers in your area? And we have links to different parts within the virtual job fair partner guide and articles and resources to utilize along the way. And so then next is inviting employers to participate, then coordinating those details, and then making sure everything's squared away, final preparations for that. And you can check out these videos too within the partner guide. But once you go through the quick start guide, we also have the single multi, and legislative events. And these pages are all structured the same, but we'll go ahead and click this multi-employer event. And the page that loads just provides some information for putting on an event. We have, for the larger events, we typically ask for about 5 to 6 weeks notice so that we can facilitate and successfully coordinate and promote the event. If you're interested in holding, or you'd like to meet with a virtual job fair team to discuss holding a multi-employer event in your area, you can send an email to info@illinoisworknet.com. And below that text there, we just have what all is included with assistance and without assistance. And it just breaks down those responsibilities if you do partner with us to put on a event. And so to run through the items here, with assistance, we'll create a registration page, a calendar entry. We'll schedule social media posts to promote the event. We'll provide Zoom training to participating employers if requested. We'll troubleshoot and provide technical assistance during the event, such as recording, participant management, and uploading it to YouTube. And then once the event has ended, we'll send feedback surveys to the participants and employers, provide registration information to the partners, and provide a recording of the event and upload it to that employer's booth page. And when you do partner with us, we would ask that the responsibilities for the partners would be to communicate with employers to ensure WorkNet accounts and employer booth pages are created, review and approve employer booth entries for each participating employer, ensure the employers have PowerPoint slides for the event, and that the slides are provided to us for screen share. And during the event, our partners will provide opening and closing remarks, facilitate participant questions that are asked through the chat, and share information about local resources and services available to attendees, such as work support services, American Job Centers, and so forth. And that's if you choose to partner with us in putting on your event. Without the assistance, it just kind of breaks down everything we went over here of what you can expect. And so we have a page like that for single employer events. We just looked at the multi-employer event, and with the legislative event, we're a little bit more involved. If a state senator or representative, reaches out and wants to hold an event, we'll work with them as well. And so for the single employer events, as we go over to this page here, we typically ask for 2 weeks lead time for scheduling, planning, promoting, and all that. The typical session is 30 minutes, and if the registration is really high, we'll increase that to an hour. And so that what these events look like is it'll begin with a opening remarks, and the employer will present their information, and then a Q&A. We'll open it up to question and answers with the job seekers. And when the registration is at its highest, that's when there's active promotion with the partners and the employer sharing the information about the event, is through the means that they have, whether it's email lists or other means. And then we'll record the session and provide again post-event registration reports to the employer, the partners, so that follow-up with the job seekers can take place. And then we discussed a little bit of it on the multi-employer event page, that a larger event with employers takes about 5 or 6 weeks to get all those details in order. We'll do a dry run to make sure the participating employers and partners and presenters can ask any last-minute questions about the event, and get those questions answered. For these events, we typically have 8 to 15 employers. Any more than that, it gets a little hard to manage on Zoom. You can also, if you'd like to, include workshops, leading up to the event, you can as well. We've in the past had resume writing, creating an elevator pitch, preparing for a virtual interview, navigating the state of Illinois' hiring process, and the informational presentations. What our multi-employer events typically look like is after the employers present, there are small group discussions that will open up breakout rooms, one for each participating employer, and then job seekers can navigate freely, between rooms and ask any questions they may have of the employers who are on the call. And the multi-employer events are typically 2 hours in length. And again, we'll record those and have some post-event reports as well. And so that covers all the tools that I wanted to share for assisting customers. So just kind of in sum, we have virtual job fairs, which are a great opportunity to connect job seekers with employers who are hiring in your area. Employment 101 and those career tools that job seekers can do to and utilize to make sure they're prepared for an event such as a virtual job fair, from putting together a resume to identifying skills they may need to keeping track of training programs and jobs that they're interested in, and the application process and so forth, and the prepare to find a job guide as well. So there's a lot of resources on Illinois WorkNet. What we covered in this call was just a few, but these are tools that are free to use, that you can use to assist customers in your area to help make sure they get the assistance they need to reach their training and career goals. And so with that, that is the conclusion of this. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to our help support desk at info@illinoisworknet.com, and they'll be sure to connect you with the right point of contact with Illinois WorkNet. Thanks, everybody.